Hello everyone, I'm Tyneside from Demo 1 Garage, and today's GT Sport Masterclass is about overtaking. I'm going to run through a few simple scenarios on how to make the overtake stick and what you need to be looking out for, and also some things to avoid when making overtakes. So hopefully this can help you out. Enjoy. So here is an example of an overtaking move a lot of people make, and you want to try to avoid doing these things. So we're riding on board with APB here. This is in a points race I was involved in. And as we're coming up to the corner, you can see APB has now moved onto the inside. Kaho's kept the racing line. APB's moved on the inside to have a look. But look, he's so far away from Kaho. If you're going to look on the inside, you want to at least be up on the quarter panel there on the back end of the car you're trying to overtake. Because what this does is it now compromises our racing line coming in. We've got a narrow entry on the corner, and we're more prone to mistakes. So as we roll the tape, APB realizes he's too far away, nothing's going to happen. So what does he do? He backs off and he moves the car back onto the racing line. But because we've now had to make all these extra moves, he's gonna completely miss the apex here. Oh, it's not too bad. But as you can see, he's nowhere near the apex, and it all originated from having a look on the inside when there was no move to be made. Because we're off, we make the mistake, he spins out, and I come through and take second place. Alright, so riding on board with me now, same race. I'm going to show you what you want to be thinking coming up into a similar situation. This is on Dragon Trail again. So I'm riding in fourth here, and I'm chasing T-Nom in the Beamer. So as we carry on, I'm starting to think about a few things. I'm starting to think about his and my speed, and if I'm catching him. And I'm still evaluating that through the whole process here. And as I've come to here, I've realized I'm a lot quicker. So I want to now set myself up to get an overtake coming through the last corner exit here. So as we continue on, you can see, look at his line, look at my line. So I've turned a lot sooner, and I've apexed a lot sooner, and he's going to be coming a lot more wider. He's going to be coming out somewhere near the wall. And I want to create a shallow exit coming up, because I don't want to be behind him, because I'm carrying way too much speed. As we continue on, I can see I'm getting a lot closer, a lot closer, a lot closer, a lot closer, a lot closer. But as I predicted, T-Nom's going to run wide, and I want to check the inside. And boom. Just playing a little bit more defensive. So I'll run through it again. I'm evaluating his speed and my speed. I'm checking to see if I'm going to make it. At this point, I've made a decision. I'm a lot quicker. So now I want to make sure I'm on a different racing line come the last corner there. As we can see, boom. You got to ride a little bit defensive. You can't be pushing it to the metal. As you noticed, I did play with the brakes a little bit. Just brake, brake. Just be ready to brake. Be always ready to brake. And always ride that defensive line. So there you go. I made that one stick. As we come down to the final turn here, I'm on the inside. I brake later, and that's third place. So here we are, Kyoto Drive Park Yamagiwa. I'm going to roll the tape here. I'm going to run you through the overtake and my thought process. So as we're coming up on T Village there, trying to make a move on the inside, it didn't quite work. Now coming up to here, I've got to evaluate a few things. and I've got to make some decisions quickly. So I've realised at this point the overtake's never going to be done before I get to the next turn. So instead of staying on the inside and going too wide through there, which is then going to mean come this second corner here, I'm pretty much sitting on the grass. He's going to probably come across and cut me because I'm going to have a lot short of a racing line. I just let off the accelerator and I'm back in behind. So now I'm back on the racing line and nothing is compromised. I can keep up with T-Village and I can keep my speed high. So that's what I do. I keep it up, chasing T-Village all the way to the top of the hill. He's decided to take the inside line, and here I take an opportunity. See this gap right here? Drive into the gap. Because if I can make it under braking, T-Village, I'm going to dictate where on the road T-Village can turn. I'm going to compromise his racing line as he's going to be on the inside, and I'm going to be able to try and keep maximum speed as we come to the turn. So that's what I do. I see this gap here, and I'm going to start driving towards it. He's left the gap, I drive it. As you can see, T-Village now has already started his turn. Just a little touch. Goodbye, mate. And that was ninth position. So always be on the lookout for things like that. Drive towards the space. If you can, take the racing line. And if you realise that the overtake's not going to be made before a certain point, maybe think about just backing off and getting back on the racing line and trying to make the move a bit later on. Alright, so here's another example of an overtake and how to make it work. So here I am coming up against 7th place Storm here. I'm in 8th and we're coming down to a set of chicanes. I know this. So I'm deciding at this point where I want to be sitting. I want to try, what I'm thinking at the moment is I want to have the inside line, but Storm is dictating that at the moment as he's in front, so I'm going to have to play the opposite of what he plays. He moves to the inside real quick, so that's what I do. I stick to the outside, but I move in and I try and close the gap between me and him, because if I was out here, again, I compromise my racing line. My turn in is a much more narrower, and it's probably going to be an accident. So instead of staying too wide, I do my best to close the gap. I leave Storm there, racing room, and now it's all about braking. As we come in, he started to make the turn. It's going to be a little bit crazy and a little bit hairy, but I start to turn as well. Storm does a really good job of being respectful here. I'm turning as much as I can, but that's okay. And the move's made. It was a little bit hairy, but because I've decided to close this distance here and move across before the corner, I've allowed myself more of a chance to make the turn. And if you've got an opponent that's respectful as well, they'll give you respect back. And there you have it. An overtake done on the chicane. It wasn't too bad after all. So that moves me up in the 7th in this race. Alright, driving park again. And here's a very simple overtaking move that pretty much anyone can master. So I'm up behind 6th place Boo Boo here. Now as I'm coming up to the braking point, I realise he's not going to be defending it. So I move the car obviously across to the inside line. He's going to take the outside line. And as he does, he's on the brakes. I'm on the brakes. It's all good. And it just so happens I'm a lot quicker through there. I've got the inside line now. I'm dictating the racing room. and everything, and the overtake was done. It's a very simple one. Follow your opponent. If you realize just before the braking zone that he or she is not moving over to defend, move over yourself. This gives you room. This stops any accidents happening in case they brake early. And if they do brake early, you'll probably make the overtake really easy, which is pretty much the case that happened here. And that was 6th place. So everyone, in this GT Masterclass, we've learnt what to do and what not to do, and I want you to remember these tips next time you're out on track. Think ahead. Think ahead about the track coming up, whether it's turning left or right, whether you're going to be running out of room, your racing line, things like that. Be patient. If you don't think the move is going to work, do what I do, sit back behind the car and wait for a more opportune time to make it happen. Drive towards the space. So if you see space in a more opportune position, use it, drive towards it, because they're not using it. You might as well put your car there and try to dictate what's happening out on track. Be respectful as well, so don't do anything stupid. Don't cut people off. Be aware that there's people next to you as well. These people are also trying to have a fun race, so don't ruin it by being that one who just dives in and does something really, really stupid. And avoid the half moves. Avoid those moves where you're way too far back, you look on to make a move, it's never going to happen, but you've already compromised your racing line because you're now more prone to mistakes and you could probably end up ruining your race. So thank you for watching, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to see more stuff. I'm Untitled Chapter from Demo 1 Garage, and we'll see you guys in the next video.